Champion, there are hot void entities in your area. Click here to join completely free.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Oh, what the? Welcome to Midnight, the second expansion in the World Soul Saga. After the war then ended on a fairly predictable note, Quel'thalas chose to continue her crusade of feat posting by dropping them bad boys on Quel'thalas. After being noted for being a seasoned tour guide during my time on Koresh, I made it my mission to continue this series by doing the Midnight leveling campaign. But if you were like me and got duped into fighting against Eldritch horrors, welcome to Stunning Quel'thalas. And before we get into this hellscape, let's just address the obvious. I am a Death Knight in the Vanguard of the Light. I am definitely not here under coercion or blackmail. I am here 100% under my own volition. Understood? Cool. Moving on. The intro to the Midnight expansion is made for people who have short attention spans, and honestly, it seems like it was written by someone who didn't play the Burning Crusade, Legion, or the War Within, and used characters solely based on their vibes for the plot. There are plenty of other lore characters here that are not actually involved in the plot, like the entire Paladin class, or Leroy Jenkins, and the most that we collectively do as a whole is just kill a void monster and escape a plaza.
You did it, champion! The civilians escaped the devouring host!
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. It was only like 3 civilians. After this, we hit the Shattered Sun Village, and I got subjected to listening to Arator's incredibly deep daddy issues. For those not in the know, after I fucked up the timeline during LemixQuest, I accidentally transferred the Curse of Daddy issues to the Paladin class. For all the Paladin players watching this video, please don't shut down the class Discord yet. I am here, humbly apologizing to you for the irreversible damage that I did to you, and even worse, what this expansion is going to do to you. Following this, we got ourselves into some weird shit, and I was using TBC legendaries to fight looters and pillagers. I was gonna make a section of this video about how they really fucked up writing these and how it was made by an abominable intelligence, but well, they actually fixed it, so that would be kind of a low blow. Do you know what is not a low blow though? Using these legendary weapons to one-shot a kaiju, only for Quel'thalas to drop a new set of free feat picks, which then summoned 2 more kaiju. After being out kaiju'd and watching our glorious leader, Tyrallion, get rage baited instead, I ended up in the middle of the Sunwell after escaping kaiju mania, and hey guys, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be in this place. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to enter this place. Like seriously, no, actually, I think I'm gonna get fucking Now that I am finally in Silvermoon, I can start leveling in Midnight, and after my last Johnny video, and the words that I may have said off screen to someone, not naming who, but someone at the Sunwell, I'm legally required to have an escort through Eversong Woods, and that bodyguard is everyone's favorite 40-year-old, Arator the Redeemer. But before we do that, I'm going to take a quick blacksmithing break. Yeah, boy. Now that we shed a free level, let's get to business. Eversong Woods starts off in Fairbreeze Village, and when I pulled up, I discovered that someone let the cave elves back out, and frankly, I'm not sure if I like them walking on the surface. Anyways, Orwina tells me that the wildlife went wild after the Sunwell did that giant laser, and that things aren't quite right. Somehow, her suspicions are correct when the plant people are on the surface, and they start to do not good things. The plant people have not developed morality like we have, but the bigger news here is that they are turning people into plants, and no self-respecting person should become a plant, I think. After beating the plant people into submission, I went down south to discover that the Ghostlands are no more, which kinda sucks because they are my favorite zone in WoW. There's not even a trace of them outside of Windrunner Spire. Deathholm is like a bunch of rocks, and there's like a single pool of plague left. And worst of all, there's a cult infiltrating Tranquillin that keeps killing all the goth void elf bitches. And in a shocking twist that no one would have ever seen coming, it turns out that the town's new lord, Antinarian, was actually the cult leader all along, and leading people into a cult that has zero merit and gets shit on at the first opportunity by yours truly. I won't lie, I really do fuck with the new Eversong Woods though. If I wasn't a human Death Knight, I'd be a Blood Elf Death Knight, and while the Orc and Tauren enthusiasts will call me as basic as Wonder Bread for it, I happen to enjoy my position far too much. Anyways, in the middle of my heartfelt rant, tragedy struck. The Amani trolls appeared from the trees, cut down a giant tree, and I got introduced to the next major troll character that will die in the first major patch. Anyways, I'm a gamer, and being one means that we have to delve through some crypts, get freaky with some skeletons, and end up sieging Zul'Aman. While here, Arator desperately tried to plead with me that the Amani were innocent and just trying to defend themselves. I remember running Zul'Aman every week without fail for a cloak during TBC, so fuck it, of course I'm going to be executing every one of these assholes. After pushing my way up the advance, I found that Zul'Jin Jr. successfully rage-baited Tyrallion, and Arator, who was trying to put a pause to the 7,000-year-long race war between the Amani and the Blood Elves, ends up getting one-shot by his father. It is not thought my place to make social commentary on the 7,000-year-long race war between the Amani and Blood Elves. But after listening to Arator for all of Eversong, I don't care if he was right or wrong. Seeing him get hit felt good. Well, now that I finished Eversong Woods, I have 3 options: Zul'Aman, Herendor, or Arator's Journey. Wait a second, what's Arator's Journey? Well, as we established at the Sunwell, Arator has major daddy issues that only got exemplified when he tried to explain to his dad that the Amani weren't all that bad. But in a cosmic twist that no one could have ever foreseen, Arator has become depressed after subscribing to r/atheism and now believes that the light is equally as evil as the void. In fact, this is going to be a very big ongoing theme with this expansion, where Blizzard had this idea of a story and how to execute it, but they did not know how to use the characters properly. That's right, in the middle of this funny meme video, I'm giving you an in-depth lore lesson and critique on why Blizzard can't write characters correctly. Move over Noble, move over Platinum WoW, there's a new lore channel in town. Arator, an experienced paladin of almost 20 years, does not understand the basic tenets or principle of being a paladin. If it wasn't for Alonsis, hold my beer, I'm swinging my cock now, Thal showing up and making Arator realize he's a little bitch, I'm not sure if Arator is ever going to grasp what it means to be a paladin. In a time of constant warfare, Arator is butthurt with the knowledge that people can reroll specs. Turalian, who used to be a protection paladin, rerolled to retribution after getting yelled at by his raid comp. Arator cannot comprehend this. I have to take him to Light's Hope Chapel to grab artifacts and relics that will empower those of the Sunwell. Entering Light's Hope's catacombs and not being instantly murdered on sight for what I did was a welcome but unexpected change. You'd think that the Silver Hand would put my picture on the banned customers wall, but alas, that's just not the case. Arator, when inside, has to get confronted with the fact that he is genuinely a Nepo baby. Instead of embracing that, he does what all Nepo babies do. He leaves his current life behind and runs a YouTube channel about building primitive craft homes and war zones. Then he has to get told by another wizened paladin what it means to play the paladin class. Also, at some point, we visit Scarlet Monastery. Like, holy shit, did we just forget that DK Spree existed? Like, seriously? Anyways, Arator's story continues into the shadows of Blackrock Mountains, where the Sons of Lothar apparently expanded and added Etrick to the crew. No one knows who invited Blood, but he's here now anyway. And as it turns out, we end up in Burning Steps to steal some belt buckles, convince Arator to start taking Prozac, and send him off to confront his daddy. Arator, having gained some sort of profound knowledge, respects to a prop paladin. After this, I got invited to a secret magical bar outside of time and space that every single main character in the franchise had keys to all along. I only just now got access to the bar because it was inconvenient to keep hiding the truth from me. Now that I'm here, I'm certain most of these characters will stop making daily visits and maybe visit only once a week. Social exclusion is one bitch of an ordeal, but it's nothing new, because as these main characters stop going to the bar, new people will take their spots, and suddenly, boom, I'm the established bar character and not the new guy in the room. The new members entering the bar will think that I am long established here, but I only showed up a week ago and never told anyone that I am equally as new as them. And this is what we call the art of social advancement in a singular magical bar outside of time and space. You should buy my book on it. Now that we've helped Arator fix his daddy issues, we have a choice to visit Herendor or Zul'Aman. But wanting vengeance for running Zul'Aman on repeat, I went there because I had every intention of destroying that zone for the nightmares they had inflicted upon me, and when I showed up, it was already destroyed. Mission complete, boys, we can go home. I'll see you guys next video. That's what I would say. But now, as a result, the story of Zul'Aman is going to be about getting a redemption arc for the Amani people by getting their animal gods back on their side. And in the short story they released before midnight, it turns out that Zul'Jin was actually a bad guy. Zul'Jin was a lone actor, and no one in the entirety of Zul'Aman was aware of what happened in Talaman during the Burning Crusade. And then the exact same thing happened again in Cataclysm. Blizzard effectively took all the main characters of the zone, put them outside of the city, and all they could do is watch from a distance and say, what the fuck is happening over there? Also, the Twilight's Blade is here too for some reason. I'm not really sure what their goal is, but yeah, they're here alright. Well, I'm glad we still have a few jank cinematics here and there. Before I say anything, I like Zul'Aman a lot, and if it wasn't for the Voidstorm, this would have been my favorite zone for this expansion. The plotline and why I'm here is totally nonsensical, but I don't give a shit. Why? It's genuinely the redemption arc that the Amani trolls need. There are a few issues with this zone that actually irked me, but that are bigger symptoms of Midnight as a whole. Firstly, why the fuck am I here with Liadrin? The vibe-coded characters used for this part of the story is downright atrocious. Why is it not Halderon, who is a consistent character for pretty much every Amani storyline up to this point? I know that Liadrin has trauma with the Amani, but shouldn't she be at the Sunwell with the rest of the Paladin class? And a similar problem that I have with all of Midnight, the story feels way too easy. There's not a real struggle. I just go do a few trials, get blessed, and go on our day. And finally, what the fuck am I actually doing here? The Twilight's Blade just wants to go kill off all the Amani trolls so that instead of the Blood Elves doing it, they go ahead and beat them to the punchline. This zone is a great redemption story, but all I've done is kill some random giants, collect some pine cones, and try to kill my... I digress, but not because I finished my point. Rather, I spent the entire lore budget on Arator's journey. This is a damning indictment about Midnight, when this zone has the best story, but even then, it's just okay. The main things that interest me in the zone are Zul'Aman Jr.'s very much veiled threats, and the fact that we have Shadow Moses Island across the straits. What's on Shadow Moses Island? I don't know. It's probably snakes or something. Oh, and fuck Den and Alarak. This dungeon is going to blow next season, and mark my words, this place is going to get hit with every nerf known to man. And so finally, that leaves us with Herendor as our last zone before the Voidstorm. The cave troll found me again and told me that we need to go back to the war within. Upon arriving, I am told that I am a heretic and need to get killed by the natives. But to prove that I am a trustworthy individual, I am forced to rescue children.
Wow, I've never seen anything like you before.
Well, fuck you too. Herendor is, well... it feels kind of like an extension of the war within. The Heraneir are kinda cool until you learn their backstory, which I learned after they made me consume some hallucinogenic fungus and sit at their favorite set of cave paintings. In my wild acid trip, I became an ancient Heraneir and saw their story unfold, including how other Heraneir were found by the Titans and one-shot for their transgressions. A tragedy, truly. After successfully surviving the first trial, I found Haldoran, tripping balls so hard that he began to levitate. As I continued through their ancient background, I learned that the Heraneir are essentially the ultimate lazy assholes of the Warcraft universe. In every major event in the universe where things went bad and looked like the end, whether that was the Lich King or the Legion, they already knew the outcome of every single event and how we would do it. They chose not to come up to the surface early, solely because they thought we could handle it. And I'm not gonna lie, that's really the extent of what the zone has to offer, besides the amazing beats. Now, I have a special treat for y'all. Midnight's development had some pretty bad writing. And no, I'm not talking about the story writing. I'm talking about in-world writing. I would like to present to you some of the finest works of the Heraneir. It was in the years that followed the rise of the ancient winged beasts that even we dared not hunt, that the stone giants scoured our land. Wait, what? Wait, this made it to release? Wait. Seriously, what? Don't tell me they didn't fucking proofread the fucking mural. I can clearly see where they got rid of the M dashes. Why the hell is the Rift of All on the bottom of this map? I trust the fungus and I got this. I can't make it a single damn thing happening on my screen. Why does every quest in this fucking zone have a fill meter? Okay, that's enough of Herendor. Let's go do the Voidstorm instead. To enter the Voidstorm, we gotta commit a heist by robbing the Magister's Terrace. While Umbric and his Void Elf gang are about to get all freaky with some weird magic, he didn't realize that he was getting in too deep. We accidentally summoned the ultimate freak, Okay. Degentrius. Okay, I can't take it seriously, it's too on the nose. Killing the degen and grabbing the artifact lets me enter the Voidstorm, and this was pretty cool until I got hit by the actual true degenerate of Midnight. This is Decimus, and Decimus is what we in the YouTube business call a freak, a brand risk, or a quick stop to getting cancelled. Guys, I'm so sorry. I do not consent to talking to this guy. I don't think that matters to P. Decimus here, since he is just going to inflict his thoughts upon me anyway. I will say, the vaguely homoerotic sexual tension between Lothraxion and Decimus is probably the highlight of the zone. That and Decimus being a god-tier troll. And I might just be glazing Decimus too hard, but at least I'll admit that. Decimus is the kind of character to steal your wallet to go buy Voidcrack, then he would donate all that Voidcrack to charity. He's here to backstab me, but after he does that, he reveals that it was a prop knife and laughs it off. There are no sense to his methods or ways, but they always ensure that he ends up on top, and when you contrast that to a power top like Lothraxion, it turns into some very sensual bickering that I do not consent to watching. After breaking through part of the zone, I started to feel my war within gear fading away, but it was worse than that. I have to fight a Naru, and I got confronted by a Naru stand battle, where it ends with Illyria manifesting her stand, that one-shots and blows up another Naru. Also, Arator eats shit, because he rerolled to a prop paladin, but he never learned how to use the defensive cooldown. Since this was the final questing zone, and I was still a firm 3 levels off of hitting level 90, I did a few side quests here and there. I drained some young wildlife after some dipshit warlocks of Voidwalker rebelled. I entered a cave with low gravity that really threw me off, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't really know we had this technology in WoW. So good job, Blizzard. Very proud of you for making gravity technology correctly. But I digress, because I hate to beat the shit out of somebody's blueberry marshmallow and made it into their baby bitch again. After this, I found a random mount in the world, and then I stuck my rod into a weird hole. And then when I thought I was back to the main story, I actually ended up still doing side quests, because I ended up in a blood swamp, where I was tasked to extract some space malaria from the local wildlife. life. After this, I actually ended up back in town, and Decimus was no longer on a leash. We decided that we fuck with his freaky nature and let him off the hook. There's also this bad guy named Terminus, who was Decimus's former top, and his only involvement in the plot is that he possesses a magical artifact and he enslaves anyone for his pleasure. I am not kidding when I say that all these Dominar are genuinely freaks, and it should be no surprise that when we get thrown to an arena, I now have to become Terminus's top prison bitch. It is a grueling task, but eventually it comes down to me versus Illyria Windrunner. But it turns out that this was all a lie, and we deceived Terminus into becoming a power bottom, with Decimus topping him, taking control of the polycule. Lothraxion was very angry about not being told he was in a polycule, and he ran off in a pretty justified crash out. However, to maintain my position as the number 1 in the polycule, I had to go to Nexus Point Exenus and kill Lothraxion. This was relatively painless. It all ended with a nice and happy hug between mother and son. In this, Arator also neglected to tell his mom that his father almost killed him, and I guess the rest of the army shows up? I don't know. I was still more or less broken up about killing the coolest Dreadlord character that Blizzard ever made because they didn't know how to write him anymore. And wow, would you believe it? I finished the zone at level 88 on the dot. So, side quest time. Okay, I have every zone available as an option for leveling, but I'm gonna be real with you. I need to get some of that blood elf decor for my house. So we are hitting Eversong Woods. I'm gonna work my way from the top of Eversong to the bottom. Starting off on Sunstrider Isle, I had to help someone figure out what class they wanted to roll, and they could only choose between Mage, Hunter, and Paladin. The Mage and Hunter tasks are just simple, kill some lynxes, drain some mana crystals. But there was something wrong with the Paladin quest, and I don't know if it's a result of the Paladin class taking genealogical damage from this video or what, but this is the Blood Knight guy, Justinius Sunstriker. Let's just call him Jess. This is what Jess looks like down from below. And when you get upstairs to fight him, he's a completely different person. An imposter, if you will. But not actually. He's just using the model of Magister Geronis, the mage trainer. After beating the Paladin's ass, I went downstairs and told the dude to go roll Paladin. He ran off. I had to go tell his school that he would not be returning. I met his bully, and I did some book burning. I ended up beating up his Instagram followers, and then I whooped his ass on the school's roof in front of everyone. Going to Silvermoon, I don't even know where I fucking start here, honestly. How about we start with helping the Blood Elf version of Jeffrey Epstein? You see this guy, Magister Aratus? He asked me to go break a judge's runes and steal false evidence against him. When I get there, I get paralyzed and given fake papers and told that Aratus is actually a bad guy. From here, I get told to go beat up some homeless people in the Silvermoon ghettos. And then I got pulled aside for asking questions. Meet Jaith, a cunning criminal with a heart of gold who wants to rob a bunch of stores. This quest is actually playing as him, but your character has to go stall the vendors during the heist, and for us to rob the jewelry store, I had to go tell the mining instructor that I've never seen a rock in my life. You know what? I take everything back, Midnight. This is the funniest dialogue in the game. Fast forward 15 minutes later, we break into Aratus' vault and discover that he's been kidnapping and trafficking people for soul shards. We killed him, and I don't really know what really happened here. I don't know what the conclusion was. Nothing, the guy just got killed. That was all it was. There's no long-running consequences or really anything like that here. He just died. After this, I helped someone pay off their debts by repoing the valuables in their apartments. I fixed somebody's magic cloak, and then I stole a dog. There was also some subplot about Naga attacking the coast and some people selling illegal goods on ships too, but I really didn't pay attention to this, so you can just forget it ever happened, I guess. Going down south, I had to help someone who is definitely not suspicious buy things that would definitely not cause for someone to be raised from the dead. I'm not even going to explain the story here, but this woman was actually a necromancer trying to get one more date with her long dead lover, and this entire time she wanted this whole thing to try and hide the fact that she was raising the dead from me, the Death Knight. If she just asked, I'd be totally chill to help. Like, this is my 9 to 5. Now, the final quest I did was probably the most impactful thing I ever did. I was out in these elven treats, chilling by the pools. I was asked by a man named Valdekar Solar to obtain the best fish known to Blood Elf kind. Guys, we haven't even had the fishing episode yet, but damn it, I had to show them that I was the greatest fisher of all time. And I brought him back like 5 fish. Then I got some ingredients to make an aioli of legend. But when I returned, it turns out that a fucking plant man stole the fish. I had to kill him for it. And boom, that's it. We hit 90, we can call it a day. What? You were expecting some emotional outro or impact? No, not this time. What you're getting here is a consistent upload schedule. That's right. No more of these monthly waits between videos. We're getting ourselves on track for real. Okay, thanks. Bye.